Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and this is your Manchester United versus Norwich City Premier League preview at Old Trafford, Saturday 3 o'clock kick-off and all of that. So on this video, like I said, I'm going to be giving you a build-up to the game. I'm also going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction, and tomorrow sometime I'm going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, and that I think tomorrow he will be providing us with an update on Harry Maguire, because obviously Maguire is out with a foot injury, and hopefully his injury is not too severe. Of course, Maguire missed the game against Man City in the Carabao Cup and that. Obviously, we do know that Paul Pogba and McTominay are still out and that. Maybe we'll get a bit more news regarding Bay and Fosu Mensah, and perhaps maybe Marcus Rojo, because obviously they're still out with injury. But I am convinced that Solskjaer will make some changes from the 3-1 defeat to Man City in that. But against Norwich, we've got to, put a performance out, and we've got to see a total comparison performance, to what we saw against Man City and all of that. This game against Norwich is our fourth game of 2020 in all competitions. It's our second game in the Premier League, and we have yet to win in 2020. So obviously, that's very, very bad in that. Obviously, Norwich, they are really, really struggling. They are facing a relegation battle. Norwich are sitting bottom of the league at the moment. Obviously, we're 21 games into the Premier League season. Norwich, of course, have only won 3 games this season in the Premier League. One of those games they did win was against Man City, 3-2. And they've only registered 14 points from 21 games of Norwich and that. Obviously, the reverse fixture earlier on this season was 3-1 to Man United. We beat them at Carrow Road. Obviously, the last meeting at Old Trafford was back in 2015, and we actually lost that game 2-1 against Norwich, and that was under the Louis van Gaal era. Obviously, before that we beaten Norwich by 4-0. So the last time we beat them at Old Trafford, obviously, was when we had Ryan Giggs as the interim manager. Don't forget Ryan Giggs only managed 4 games, and then obviously after that we recommended Louis van Gaal, but Ryan Giggs did win his first game against Norwich by 4-0 and that. But on paper, you would say Man United should win this game. But reflect on how poor, we have been against lower opposition this season. I am taking nothing for granted in that. But we've actually done well mainly against elite opposition this season. But we haven't really replicated it against lower opposition. And that is my element of concern. But we have to win this game against Norwich anyway, to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. We are still in that top 4 race. We are around 5 points behind top 4 and that. And so we've got to try now as win as many games as possible and that. But we've got to get that top 4. You've also got to say that the Europa League's a priority for us, because obviously that's another route to Champions League football. I did say also the Carabao Cup was a priority for us now, but it's looking very, very unlikely that we're going to progress to the final of the Carabao Cup, because obviously we're 3-1 down against Man City in that. And obviously, we've got to, overcome a 2-goal deficit at the Etihad. But I'm very sceptical, of course, that that's going to happen. But I did say maybe the Carabao Cup is the only chance of us getting any silverware on the board this season. But there again, we could win the Europa League. But, it's very imperative that we get some silverware on the board, because we have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years and that. The games are coming up thick and fast for us. Like I said, after Norwich, it is the FA Cup 3rd round replay against Wolves at Old Trafford. Another game Man United need to win. I'd love us to enjoy a good FA Cup run. It would be good to win it, because we haven't won it since Louis van Gaal era and that. But I don't see Man United winning it. We did enjoy a good one in the Cup last season. Obviously, beating Reading, we're beating Arsenal, we're beating Chelsea, but obviously, got knocked out in the quarter-final by Wolves and that. But yeah, so we've got to win this game against Norwich and that. As I updated you this morning, it did confirm that Jesse Lingard is going to be dropped for this game against Norwich and that, because, Solskjaer, of course, has become infuriated with Lingard. So too is Mike Phelan, so he's obviously infuriated as well, Solskjaer and that, because Lingard has been very inconsistent. I thought he was poor against City. He was very, very poor against Arsenal on New Year's Day. And like I said, this is a very, very bad start. Jesse Lingard has not registered one. Last year, in the whole of 2019 last year, he didn't register a goal or an assist. So that just indicates how bad Jesse Lingard has been, and that reflects on his status at the football club and reflects on the number of years he's been here. He should be putting much more better performances out, definitely. But he has been a huge disappointment as Jesse Lingard, and I think he's on around, is it £100,000 a week at the club, or just over £100,000 a week, and that. I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans now, saying that, we should get him out of the football club and that. I think he's around, 27 or 28 years of age. He does mainly operate in that number 10. I think Man United need to get a number 10 in, because we haven't got a good number 10. But I think Juan Mata will probably play in this game against Norwich, instead of Jesse Lingard, unless, we put Andres Pereira in the number 10 role. And as you all know, I've also got element of concerns about him, definitely. So now we'll get on with the starting 11 prediction for the game. I think Solskjaer will stick with the 4-2-3-1 formation, like he has been doing on a regular basis this season. I think in maybe some games, it seemed to have suited our standards, that formation, but I think in the vast majority of our games, it hasn't really suited our standards. I think Solskjaer should consider maybe reverting to 3 at the back, or maybe go with a 4-3-3, but he'll stay with a 4-2-3-1, so he'll stay with David De Gea in goal. I think he'll obviously keep Wan-Bissaka at right back. There's been reports saying that Harry Maguire is going to be ruled out for this game against Norwich, but we will know more tomorrow, like I said at the beginning of the video. But if Maguire isn't fit enough, I think he'll probably go with Jones and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. There again, maybe if Tuanzebe is fully fit, because he's been out of injury, maybe he'll play alongside Victor Lindelof. So it'll be either Jones or Tuanzebe alongside Lindelof if Harry Maguire isn't fully fit, and if Tuanzebe is obviously fully fit. Left back, I think he should stick with Brandon Williams, but he actually may go with Luke Shaw at left back. But actually now, Solskjaer views Brandon Williams as his first choice left back, and I thought actually Brandon Williams put a really good performance out against Man City in the Carabao Cup. But I think in the games he's played in this season, he has been very, very impressive. I think in the midfield, he'll obviously start Fred, because I don't think Fred had a bad game against Man City. I said, Man United I think are going to be determined to give Fred more time at the football club, definitely. But he's been playing a lot of games of late, because obviously, we've got the likes of McTominay and Pogba injured and that. Fred obviously has been playing more games. But I think when he's played alongside McTominay early on this season, he's he's looked very, very impressive. So I think Fred will either be playing alongside Matic. If it isn't Matic, he'll be playing alongside Pereira and that. So it will be one of them, or it'll be Pereira and Matic in the midfield. It'll be one of them anywhere. Obviously, Matic has initially lost his place in the team due to his inconsistency in that. But obviously, like I said, with the injuries we've got now in midfield, we haven't really got an alternative, but to play Matic in that. So I think it'll probably be Fred and Matic in the midfield. The 3 attackers, I think, Daniel James will start this game against Norwich, definitely. Daniel James on the left, or Rashford on the left, or whatever. I'm going to go with Rashford on the left. Mata in the number 10, because Lingard's going to be dropped. Like I said, Daniel James on the right, and Anthony Martial up top and that. As you all know, Anthony Martial has just come back from illness and that. But I think his performances have been very, very good this season, and I've got the same perceptions on Marcus Rashford. So, yeah, so that's my starting 11 prediction for the game, But like I said, you saw my match reaction for the Man City game. I was very, very disappointed. Solskjaer give his overarching view on it. and he actually said the first half is the worst we've played under his guidance and that, and he questioned the pride of the players and that, but it was an absolutely dreadful performance. So we've got to see better performance against Norwich, definitely in that. And but like I said, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. I think we need to get rid of our board, because our board have been a liability for several years. I think we also need to get rid of Ed Woodward. We need to get rid of around, 6 or 7 players, I think, this year. I don't think Solskjaer is determined to get rid of any players, unless, of course, we can recommend some signings in. And reportedly, Solskjaer wants to recommend around 6 signings in this year, because I think that's what we need, at least, for us to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. And of course, for us, to be up there challenging for major honours and all of that. And like I said, these are lots of players on our agenda, because I did say this year it's very imperative that we do address the deficiencies in the squad. It's also very imperative that we do recruit the right calibre players to Manchester United, and I think it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want. Obviously, reflecting on how inconsistent we are and how inconsistent we've been for the vast majority of this season, and also, with us not being in Champions League football, it's going to be harder to attract players to the elite level and that. But, we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for around 30 years, and reflecting on that, for the vast majority of this season, Solskjaer has been under intense pressure. But I can assure that he's not going to see out his 3-year contract at Manchester United. But I'm very, very sceptical that we will sack him at this present time, despite the fact there's a lot of Manchester United fans, including me, that are demanding him out of the football club. But like I said, I think the board and Ed Woodward and that are determined to back him in this January transfer window. They're also determined to back him in the summer to see who else he can recommend in to the football club. And I think with Solskjaer being a club legend in that aspect, the board and that, and Ed Woodward are soft in their stance on him, I think disregarding him being a club legend and that, I probably do believe he would have been sacked by now. Because obviously, the stature of our club, with the stature of this club, we're not in the commanding position, that we should be in. Also take into account, the amount of money that's been spent into the football club over the years. I think we've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new additions in. Not only that, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club. And I think at least, what we should be doing with the money we've spent, we actually, should be, challenging for the league at least, or, we should be topping that, because Liverpool are sitting top of the league now, and Liverpool have not spent nowhere near to the extent of what we've spent. Like I said, we overpay for players. Liverpool don't overpay for players. They're usually sensible with their current recruitment and that. But I just can't believe, how inconsistent, we currently have been. But, I think, what our way of seeing it is that, they're probably our board and Ed Woodward and that, think that Solskjaer, hasn't had long enough yet at Manchester United. But I've got to disagree with that, because I think he's had long enough now. It's not like he's only been here like a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months. He's been here now for 13 months. So he's been at the football club now over a year. He's obviously been permanent manager now for almost 10 months, and obviously analysing the vast majority of that 10 months, he has enjoyed a very, very difficult time, and that, he has enjoyed a very, very difficult time. But like I said, when Solskjaer first came in, he did really, really well. The results were good, the performances were good, he exceeded expectations and that. And I thought at that point, like I said, he was the right man to elevate Manchester United forward and that. And, but since he's got the job, it's just been totally a comparison. And, I've seen some good periods, where, like I said, on my recent videos, where Man United have done well, we've had a good couple of results. But then it's been back to square one, and that's what it seemed to have been like, and we're just struggling to keep that consistency up. And this is what makes me think now that Man United are not going to get that top four. But I still believe, we are in that top four race. If Chelsea, had not gone on that bad run of form, definitely top four, would have been over now for Man United. Definitely. I can definitely now assure that. But like I said, my element of concerns regarding Solskjaer, too tactically naive, no plan B, doesn't have that winning mentality, philosophy not right for the club, despite the fact that he knows the club inside out, has no pedigree behind him in management, not to the highest level anywhere, because overall anywhere, Solskjaer is not a top level manager. So I think the club, need to orchestrate on recommending a manager to the top level manager in, or a manager, of course, that's totally comparison to Solskjaer, definitely. I think we need to get a director of footballing as well. I think Ed Woodward, of course, is still keen on recommending a director of footballing, because we was relentlessly linked with a director of football last summer, but we didn't get a director of footballing as I thought where we should have done, because I did say that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club. But like I've said, we need to see a variety of changes at Manchester United, definitely. Yes, we definitely need to see a variety of changes at the club. I know since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, a lot of players have left Man United. Valencia, of course, left at the end of last season after he endured 10 years at the club. Obviously, we saw Chris Smalling depart the football club. He went out on loan to Roma. Despite the fact he went out on loan to Roma, we've still, got a lot of centre-backs in the team. I think we've still got around 6 centre-halves. Darmy went to Parma. Harari, went to PSG on a free transfer last summer. So we've got to find an adequate replacement for him. Fellaini left last January 2019 he left. And Lukaku and Sanchez, of course, both went to Inter Milan and that. And obviously, we've got to find adequate replacements for them, because you can say since their departures, we've looked very exposed in that attacking line, definitely. But I think the players that need to leave, like I've said to you on my other videos, it's also very, very imminent that Ashley Young's going to be leaving the football club. I'm very sceptical it's going to be this January transfer window, according to recent reports, because reportedly, we are reluctant to let Ashley Young go in this January transfer window, and that we're reluctant to let him go, because Inter Milan have reportedly expressed their interest in him. Reportedly, it says from BBC, which is a reliable source as well as Sky, they said that Inter Milan are set to sign Ashley Young this summer. So that means in that aspect they're going to get him on a free transfer, because his current contract does expire at the end of this season and that. But it said if they could have got him this month, they were prepared, Inter Milan to offer him around an 18-month contract, which is around a year and a half. But Inter Milan have been in talks of getting Ashley Young. Like I said, Inter Milan got 2 of our players last summer in Lukaku and Sanchez and that. Obviously, as well, don't forget Inter Milan have got Christian Eriksen on their agenda. So obviously, Antonio Conte does want to make more investment in his Inter Milan squad. He wants to make more investment in Inter Milan. Sorry. But like I said, Young has passed his sell-by date at Man United. He's 34 years of age now. He's nearly 35. He's been a long servant here. Young is now into his 9th season as a Manchester United player, and he's endured 8 years here. He said from Sky today that we'd allegedly offered him a 1-year extension, but reportedly Ashley Young has turned this down. But he signed a 1-year extension back in February, of course, of last year. So we should have never give him that new 1-year extension. I think Jones definitely needs to go. There's question marks regarding Solskjaer on that aspect. Why is he still playing Phil Jones in that? Some people will say he shouldn't have played against Man City in that. I don't think Tuan Zebe were fit enough to play against City, so this is why, obviously, he didn't play in that. But Jones is too inconsistent now. He's been here more or less the same amount of time as, Ashley Young, but he's too inconsistent, so we need to consider getting rid of him, and we can cash in for him because he signed a new long-term contract last season. Rojo, I think he's another player that needs to be moved on. Matic, definitely, too inconsistent. He's 31 years of age now, he's Matic. Like I said, Jesse Lingard maybe needs to moved on. Chong, there's a lot of United fans that have got element of concerns about him. I don't think he's emulated that level yet, but he's definitely not on that level yet, Chong. So if we could loan him out, that would be very, very beneficial. There's also question marks regarding Solskjaer. Why is he not really giving Angel Gomez the chance? I know he came on against City, but he needs to be given more chances, does Angel Gomez. But I did say before, didn't I? When's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to be convinced, to give Angel Gomez the opportunity? Just going to put my phone on charge. But yeah, I would get rid of a lot of our players because, quite frankly, they're not good enough to represent the football club. And a lot of the blame stems from a lot of the players, why we've been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season. But not all of the blame just stems from Solskjaer. Like I said, everyone needs to take responsibility because I think the whole club's in turmoil, definitely in turmoil and that. But like I said, there's players I'd keep at Man United. I'd keep Rashford because, Rashford's been in scintillating form this season. I'd keep Anthony Martial because he's done well in the games he's played in this season. I'd keep Lindelof. Obviously, I'd keep Lindelof because he's improving as a Manchester United player. And I think he's blended in very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Some people say they'd get rid of Luke Shaw. Maybe you'll get some United fans saying they'll keep him because Luke Shaw's been our first choice left back for quite some time. Obviously, now he's not our first choice left back. Finney's our first choice left back now, Brandon Williams. But Luke Shaw was good last season because he did win the double player of the season and that. And Luke Shaw's injury prone. He's sustained quite a lot of injuries as a Manchester United player and that. But yeah, some United fans would say they'd get rid of Luke Shaw. Definitely keep the free signings that we recommended in last summer. Because last summer we spent nearly £150 million on James, Bissaka and Maguire, and they've all done really, really well. And you've got to say, the three signings that we recommended in have actually, been our best players so far this season without a shadow of a doubt. I'd keep McTominay because he's been a revelation this season. Obviously, before he sustained his injury, McTominay, he was playing really, really unwell. But the disappointing thing now is that he's currently out with injury until February. So he's got ligament damage in his knee. It wasn't too long ago he recovered from an ankle injury at Tommy and that. With Paul Pogba, I think he's gonna be leaving the football club. Is Paul Pogba? Maybe he won't leave this January. But I think, he will leave this summer if he doesn't leave this month. Or even if he doesn't leave in the summer, I think at some point in the future he will leave Manchester United. Obviously, because he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level and that. Because Paul Pogba is regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world, when he's playing to his potential best. I thought definitely he was one of the best midfielders in the world when he was at Juventus, because he did endure 4 good years at Juventus. But I think the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally a comparison of Paul Pogba's. Obviously, he hasn't played the vast majority of our games this season due to injury. Don't forget, at the first he was out with an ankle injury for 3 months. Then obviously after that, sustained illness. Then he came on as a sub against Watford and Newcastle. And then obviously it was looking like it looked like then he had returned. But then all of a sudden, Pogba then didn't, travel to the Burnley game. He also didn't travel to London for the Arsenal game. So obviously, that fueled more speculation. And then obviously, Solskjaer had revealed that Paul Pogba had sustained a new injury. He basically said, the new injury was obviously no comparison to the other one, so it means it's a different sort of injury. I think it did say it's some kind of ankle injury in that. And now reportedly he's out. Well, Solskjaer confirmed at the first he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Recent reports have emerged out saying that he's had the operation on his ankle and that, and according to Paul Pogba, this is stemming from him. He said the operation went really, really well and that. But I do believe anyway Paul Pogba's career is over at Manchester United. I've got to say I think Paul Pogba's disrespecting the club. I think also his agent Mini Raiola is disrespecting the club. because not too long ago, Mini Raiola had come out and criticised the football club. I still think Pogba will end up making a move to Real Madrid. That's very, very imminent. Reflecting back last summer, he was relentlessly, linked with a move to Real Madrid. But his move to Real Madrid never materialised. I think reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we wanted around, 150 million. Real Madrid were not willing to meet that. Obviously, there was talks about him making a return back to Turin, because he did enjoy 4 good years in Turin, like I said. Obviously, before, there was speculation about him possibly going to Barcelona and that. But Solskjaer's had his overarching view, and he said that Paul Pogba will not be sold in this January transfer window and that. But I think Real Madrid are doing everything they can, to try and get Paul Pogba there. But Pogba revealed at the beginning of the summer anyway, of last summer, that was the beginning of last summer, that, he wanted to leave Man United because he said he was seeking for a new challenge in that. But in total, Paul Pogba has made 150 appearances for us in all competitions and scored around, is it 31 goals or is it 151 appearances he has currently made. But yeah, he's one player that's going to be going. But like I said, we can generate a substantial amount for his departure. I think we can get at least 100 million. And obviously, with that money we generate, we could probably get around 2 or 3 players with it, basically. But we're already, looking for replacements for Paul Pogba anywhere. But even if Paul Pogba stayed, we'd still need to address that midfield either way, because it's one of the priority areas where Man United do need to strengthen up, definitely in that. Obviously, I give you an update on my previous video that I did do regarding, obviously, Massimiliano Allegri. Reports have emerged out that I have read today. It is in the mainstream media saying that Massimiliano Allegri wants to take the Man United job. So he wants to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United and that. I'm actually sceptical that, Massimiliano Allegri will be our next manager if Solskjaer is sacked. I think it's probably more... I think actually, our preference is Pochettino over him, but I think it'd be actually more likely anywhere that Pochettino would come in over Massimiliano Allegri. Of course, both managers are currently managerless at the moment, because you obviously got Massimiliano Allegri that resigned as Juventus manager at the end of last season, I think it was. And of course, you've got Pochettino that got sacked by Tottenham, was it a couple of months ago now? Well, obviously, it was last year he was sacked by Tottenham and that. But obviously, the reports have started again all of a sudden, because earlier on this season, it was quite a while back. It says obviously Man United were interested in recommending Max Allegri in and all that. He said reportedly he'd been in negotiations with the club, regarding what salary he would want if he was to come in. He also demanded a few things. He said, he wanted to bring like Patrice Evra as one of his coaching staff. He also said he wanted to bring Emre Can and Mario Mandzukic to the football club with him. But then, obviously, the rumours had died down, and Massimiliano Allegri, was linked with the Arsenal job. I think there's also been speculation about him going to Bayern Munich and that. But actually, like I said, Massimiliano Allegri has never managed in the Premier League as yet. He's never played in the Premier League, because he's actually spent the entirety of his managerial career in Italy. Yes, he has, and he also spent the entirety of his playing career in Italy. Did Massimiliano Allegri. But yeah, like I said, he enjoyed a good 5 years with Juventus. In total, he managed around 271 games, and won 191. This is what he did, and with Juventus, he progressed them to 2 Champions League finals, and he also, won 5 consecutive Serie A titles with them. He also won 4 Coppa Italians and that. So, if he was to come to Man United, do you think he'd be able to replicate, what he did do with Juventus and that? But he definitely wants an immediate return to management. But do you think he would be the right candidate for Man United? Do you think he'd be able to, elevate the club forward? But he said a while back he was learning English in preparation for his potential move and that. But, you've got a lot of United fans coming out after the 3-1 defeat to City, saying that, they want us to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in that. Because overall, anyway, we've been long admirers of Mauricio Pochettino. we was in for him after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018 and that. We was in for him then. But obviously, we didn't get him because obviously, our preference was Solskjaer, because Solskjaer did well when he was the interim manager. Plus, we didn't have to pay as much in compensation, to obviously, recommend Solskjaer in. I think we'd have had to pay around, at the time, 32 million to get Pochettino in and that. But I think also Pochettino wants an immediate return to management and that. I think, what Pochettino did in his 5.5 years with Tottenham, I think he'd be able to replicate that at Manchester United, definitely. Because he's got great managerial credentials. Like I said, my only element of concern I've got about Pochettino is that, he hasn't won out in terms of silverware and that. But, he did really, really well with Tottenham. Tottenham, were competing in and out of the top four in the vast majority of his career with them, managerial career. But in the last couple of years of his tenure with Tottenham, Tottenham started, to be more competitive. They were title contenders because they came close on quite a few occasions and that. And Pochettino has got that winning mentality. His philosophy is good. He's much better than Solskjaer's. He's good at developing young players. He's Pochettino. So these are probably the reasons why I'd want him at Manchester United and all of that. And obviously now anywhere, won't have to pay anything in compensation to recommend him in, So, but yeah, so I think, if Solskjaer is to be sacked, it's very, very imminent that Pochettino will be our next manager. But I think, regardless of who our manager is, whether it's Solskjaer or whether it's Pochettino or whether it's any other manager, I don't think they'll ever invoke Ferguson's legacy at the football club, and that what I mean is I don't think we'll ever replicate what we did under Alex Ferguson. Even if we did get back to how we was under Ferguson, from now it's going to take us several years to get us back to that level of what we was under Alex Ferguson and all of that. But it was fantastic what he accomplished, Ferguson, and no manager, of course, again, we'll never have a manager again that'll, serve 26, 27 years here. And we'll never, win as much as we did under Ferguson. That will never happen again. Well, as long as I'm alive anywhere, I do think. But like I said, we won't sack Solskjaer now. But I do believe that the club do need to do it. They really, really do. So we will see what happens. I give you the news, didn't I, regarding the transfers today. I've already updated you on it anywhere. I've given you the news about Maddison, James Maddison, Christian Eriksen and all of that. There's a lot of midfielders on our agenda. There's quite a few attackers on our agenda as well, because we're well and truly now into the January transfer window, and Solskjaer's aware that signings are needed because he's actually urged Ed Woodward, of course, to make some signings. And Ed Woodward last year, I think, assured, Galactico signings at Manchester United and that. Yeah, so that's your Man United Norwich preview and everything else to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.